And we're back. Welcome to part two. Sorry, I had to take care of some things that was being summoned. I don't know if you heard that. Hopefully you didn't. Maybe. We'll see. Um. Okay, so episode nine, nine, eight, nine. Search and destroy. Um. I have to agree with Yang on this one. I was actually expecting to see Ooblik in action and tear down those Grim. But it was very deep what he was talking about, the reasons why he chose to be a huntsman. It was really something. So let's go through these notes and see what I picked up, I guess you can say, to remind myself of. And here we go. Osmond's assignment to All right. So besides the fact that Ospen bended the rules a little bit and allowed the girls, which are first year students, to go on a shadow assignment that is reserved for higher class students. Um, lets you know that he has a lot of faith in the girls, and just to make sure that he has a sort of, I don't want to say control, but first-hand information, he assigned Ooblik as the huntsman for that task. Now, this is very interesting because if I remember correctly, when they were in the office in Ospen's office, um, that General Ironwood is uh, is all about, let's send in the military, send in all the battleships and all the cruiser classes and all my soldiers, just go in there and obliterate everything, decimate everything, leave no chance to chance. And then Ospen intervenes and he says, "You're a general. I mean, who do you send first? Your flagship, the flag bearer, or your scouts?" So in this case, Ruby and Team Ruby is they're the scouts and they're checking out the area. Now I can keep on talking because I remember what I said. Dr. Ooblik, he's mentioning that recently there has been a very high concentration of Grim. Now, the reason Grim congregate in, in particular areas is because they are attracted to these emotions, these negative emotions of sadness and hate and fear. And he goes on and he mentions that there are probably feelings that our evildoers are harboring. So it's all kind of like falling in place. Like Ruby heard in the meeting that they're going to be joining or gathering forces. The White Fang is going to be gathering forces in the southeast region, and and it just so happens that suddenly there's a high concentration of Grim in that area, and then Ooblik also talks about the fact that it's a great hiding spot because it's an abandoned city, you have structures, and it's also a very complex underground cave network that was all of it was an extension of Beacon, or not Beacon, Vale, city of Vale, kingdom of Vale. So, what better place for a hiding spot? I mean, it's all coming together, so that's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. Let's see what else I got. Abandoned city, abandoned caves inside Mountain Glen. There you go. So like, abandoned city, abandoned caves, which is what I was mentioning a moment ago. That makes for the perfect hideout. You know, you have building structures where you can have on the surface lookouts, and then you have an underground cave network where you can keep things out of sight. So it all plays together. And the city was overrun by Grimm. Now this is something that we are not quite sure, or at least it hasn't mentioned yet. Dr. Oobleck was talking about the reasons why he became a huntsman is to save lives, because he sees the city of Mountain Glen and he sees all that potential lost, all those lives lost. Now, how did it get overrun by Grimm? I'm not exactly sure just yet, but it is very tragic that a whole city was just decimated. Emotions that attract the Grimm. A heightened form of extermination. And that was my last note. A heightened form of extermination. When when Yang is telling Oobleck, like, hey, you can help out. I want to see you in action. I want to see a real huntsman in action, see what they can do. And then he's like, I am at work. I'm here harvesting all this information and looking at all these signs and gathering all this intel on here in the field and putting it to use, digesting it and analyzing it. Excuse me. And then he says, don't be misguided. Sometimes a lot of our jobs are just a heightened form of extermination, meaning that we're just killing things. Killing things is not the main focus of our job. Killing things is just a vast majority of what we do, but it's not all that we do. There's more to being a huntsman than just killing things. And then he goes on to ask about the girls under their reasons of being a huntsman or huntress, and it's kind of like hitting deep in the fact that a lot of them are still uncertain or have a true meaning to their call. Like, I know I've discussed about this before where I mentioned that I get this feeling that they're going to be forced to grow up in a very non-natural kind of way where they're going to be experiencing this thing that is going to rip them away from their childhood and force them into adulthood. Now, this kind of like aligns with this thinking because taken into context into the context of us when we're growing up and we're going to school and they ask us, oh, what do you want to be when you grow up? When we're children, young children, we usually say, I want to be an astronaut, I want to be a police officer, I want to be a firefighter. All these things that for us in children's eye look really cool and really awesome, and you have all these images of kicking ass and taking names and blasting your way to things, but in reality there is this darker, grim side to things that as children we don't really see and we don't really experience or think about. And it kind of plays off in that way where the girls are like, "Or are you a huntress?" Basically, at least for Yang, because it's cool. Because I'm a thrill seeker, because I want to go around the world on these awesome adventures, and if I help people, then hey, that's a bonus, you know. It's not substantiated, but it got her thinking. It kind of like it was that little seed of light that starts slowly growing into something, makes you think, makes you analyze what it is that you want to accomplish, and makes you realize, well, it's not just for that. It's because there's something more that I haven't quite realized, but it's there. I just can't see it yet. Wise's answer was because I'm a Snee, you know, and I have this reputation to uphold. So how else can I uphold it if I'm not a huntress? And again, another shallow, not an answer with not that much, um, not truth, but like it doesn't have that much. A crude term to use is meat. It's not fleshed out. It's not complete. It's not a complete reason as to why it is that you're doing what it is that you're doing. And it also got her thinking. It's not what I meant to say. It's not the reason why I became a huntress. There's more to it than that. And and then you have Blake. There's too much wrong in the world, and what better way to fix it? Okay, how? How is you being a huntress going to fix all the wrong in the world? It's a shallow answer. It's not substantiated. It doesn't have any substance to it. And it got her thinking. Uh, because I'm gonna kick ass and take names. No, there's more to it than that. And this is the part of this is the growing up that they're going through right now. And they're having a lot of time and a lot of things to think about and digest and kind of like come around and see things for what they really are. And it's not being a huntress is, you know, you have so much power, so much uh, greatness, and you have so much support that you can task something and you can accomplish anything you want. And when you become a huntress, you can save the world all by yourself, you know. And it's starting to become a reality that it's not quite the case. And it's interesting to see where this goes. Now, surprisingly, Ruby was not asked the question. However, Ruby apparently is eager to get into the fight, eager to start killing whatever. And I don't know if you noticed, but there was a moment when he says, "Well, show me what you got." You can see in her face that she's like all ready to go. Very, in a very thrill seeker kind of way, but more like, can't think of the word I want to say, but she looks forward to it. She's always looking forward to the fight. And that speaks a little bit about her character, but I don't have much information for that just yet. However, when they see the Elder, let's call them the Elder Grimm, when they see the Elder Grimm, which are like the elephant type, which have been around for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, um, they have evolved. They have learned. I'm not gonna go on the limb and say they are self-aware, but they have the experience of knowing that if we do this, then this is gonna happen. So let's not do this just yet. until something changes. And they stay around the borders. The Elder Grim, they stay around the borders. They're patrolling. They're waiting. They're waiting for an opportunity to strike. Because if you do it alone and you claim the life of one human, more are going to show up in its place. So they're awaiting. And that's very ominous. Going back to Ruby, her initial reaction is, "Let's kill it," because she's always ready to go into it, you know. And Professor Glenn is like, "You're not gonna do much because they're large, they're old, they're strong, they're powerful, and you just by yourself, I don't think there's much you're gonna accomplish other than aggravate them. So it's best to keep our distance for now and focus on the task at hand." But maybe that was the answer Professor Ublik was searching for. He didn't have to ask Ruby, "Why did you become a huntress?" Because Ruby is speaking her answer through her actions. She became a huntress to eradicate Grimm from this earth, from this world. Maybe even to seek revenge for her mother. Just a thought, but it's possible. It's possible that's the reason why this young, quirky, funny, silly girl became a huntress. And why she became so good at using a very complex and elaborate weapon. She became a huntress for revenge. Hmm. And then they went to sleep. Campfire, the girls realized how shallow their answers were, and they started growing from it. And then Ruby says, "Tomorrow will get better. Tomorrow will be better." From what? Hmm. Anyway, I'll leave it. I'll leave it there for now. I lost my focus. There we go. It's a lot to think about. It's a lot of character development going on here. So let's leave it. Let's leave it there for now. Thank you so much for watching and for joining me for another episode of Watch Along with CharFox. That's me. If you enjoy my videos, go ahead and subscribe. There will be more. Currently, I'm going through a difficult time, and but there will be more. There will be more. All the information is in my channel updates. If you like what I do and you want to support, $1 or $2 would make a huge difference if everybody joined in, and it'll allow me to make videos faster. So I have my Patreon up in the homepage, channel homepage. So subscribe, like all the other YouTube things that you guys do. And thank you so much. Until next time, take care. Bye bye.